Alright, so in this video we're checking out the FlashFish G300. Got another small portable power station here, and I'm just going to go over really quick what comes in the box. You get a user's guide manual, power station of course, you get a AC adapter. This is 15 volts and up to 4 amps, so when you plug it into the wall, it'll charge in the back up to 60 watts. Also can charge it in your car via cigarette lighter. It's got the same barrel connector, plugs into the back. I'll show you that here momentarily. You get this USB LED light. So there's no LED light on the unit itself, but if you plug it into one of the USB ports, you get a little light here, and you can adjust the angle to point out whatever you need. And you get one of these cigarette lighter barrel connector adapters that go into the front here. So just show you really quick what we got here. So in the front is going to be your DC stuff. Turn it on and off right here with this little button. DC power, DC output. You get two of these barrel connectors. I think these are 5512 or 5521 connectors. Pretty standard. Plug that in, then you plug in your whatever uses 12 volts into this socket here, and you can get 12 volts. I think it's up to 10 amps. Yeah, 10 amps max, 120 watts total out of these two ports. You also have these quick charge 3.0 ports here, USB, and that's up to 18 watts. And then you have a standard 5 volt 2.4 amp, just standard USB port here. In the back, you got a little ventilation fan for the AC inverter. The inverter is rated to 350 watts max, 300 watts nominal, and I did test that out on my heat gun, which outputs, well, draws about 310 to 315 watts continuous, and that this inverter had no problem handling that. So you got two AC outlets here. You can turn it off via the switch over here, on and off as such. And you can see when you turn that on, you have both AC output and DC output turned on. You turn that switch off, then it turns off over here. And in the back is your DC input. That's where you're going to plug in your wall outlet, or also the cigarette lighter. Car adapter for charging. You can also charge it via solar panels, up to 50 watts it says, although it should technically do up to 60 watts since the AC wall adapter outputs 60 watts. But I did try it with a 50 watt solar panel, and it charged no problem at the 50 watts. So just taking a quick look around the power station itself, it's pretty small and light, 222 watt hours of capacity. I did do a full capacity test on this, and it took about a little over 2 hours, and I got about 188 watt hours, so roughly 85% efficiency in terms of losses, and that's about average for most power stations on a DC output. The casing here is some kind of metal. Based on how light this is, considering there's batteries inside here, it's probably some sort of aluminum. I'm guessing 6061. They do have some specs here on the side. It's going to be easy to read in the manual. I'll show you that here in a second. Got a handle here on top for holding it. Again, you can hold it in one hand. It's not that heavy. Some rubber feet on the bottom. Again, that shows you the front and the back. And on this side, there's nothing. So yeah, it's very, very portable and very light. So just to go over the specs here that are in the manual, 222 watt hours. Again, up to 350 watts on the AC inverter. And I did talk about all these other specs here previously. Charging time's about 5 to 6 hours on that 60 watt adapter. Here are the dimensions, 248 by 86 by 151 millimeters, and it weighs about 2.6 kilograms. Now, in terms of all the standard protections like overcurrent protection, over voltage protection, etc., those are all built into the BMS on here, just like most other power stations. However, this power station is a little different from most of the ones that are out in the market. If you try and use the DC out or the AC out while you're charging, so if it's plugged into the wall, or if it's solar charging, for example, any kind of DC input, you're not going to be able to use any of the outputs. So basically, you can either charge it, or you can use it as an output source. You can't do both at the same time, unlike a lot of power stations that you find on the market. So if that's something you require, it's definitely going to be a deal breaker for a lot of people that want to charge while also being able to, have things plugged in and utilizing the charge that's in the battery. So that's something to be aware of. I think it's a pretty big downside. Most power stations out there let you charge the power station while, using it for, plugging into stuff, but this one does not. So just keep that in mind. If you need basically if you want to use it, you have to charge it up and then you can use it, but then you have to unplug everything to basically charge it back up again. So something to be aware of. It's pretty important. That being said, it's a fairly reasonably priced power station for the capacity and the features. And if this fits your needs, I think it's an okay value, although not anything really to write home about. But I'll put a link in the description. You guys can check it out and kind of decide for yourself if you feel like it's of that value or not. And that'll do it for this video. Any questions, comments, let me know in the comment section below, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video.